Hi, I'm Lynn J. Smith, and this is Alone, which I will sing a cappella. And then I'm going to have the backstory for why I chose to do the song for the Sing It Forward challenge um, after I finish. So if you don't want to listen to it, you don't have to. Um, and wouldn't you know, cars want to drive down the street today at the time where it's usually quiet. Just my luck. Just my luck. Okay, anyway, here we go. I'm sitting alone and there's nothing to blame but my own stupidity. I left when I couldn't stay, and now I'll never be the same. I sit and stay in my cage, afraid of what they'll think. No one really knows me, and it hurts, 'cause it's my fault. Fake friends to fit in, and it never does anyone any good. I still regret not dancing with you when I could. My heart's too young to understand the feelings deep inside. And when things got too hard, I didn't try. And it hurts sitting here alone. Although the feelings jump by the numbness of sorrow, because I know you'll never be here. I always remember the worst and not the best, and I'm cursed to always wake up still dreaming. But I never give up even when I'm alone, so don't break even though you're alone. And that's it. So, I'm going to say that definitely was not the best singing by any means whatsoever. Um, I'm really more of a guitarist and songwriter than a vocalist, but I mean, I write this and I write the chords for it, and I play the chords that I write for it, so I'm not gonna put it off on somebody else to sing when it's my song. Um, Also, I don't really want anyone else singing it because I wrote it and I'm the one who knows why I said the words, so I know how to sing them. And I know at some points I got a little bit louder. That was probably because a car came by or my dogs decided to go crazy. You know, the normal stuff that happens whenever you're outside. But outside is better than inside for me. So, um, I chose this song because honestly, none of my other songs fit what you wanted. Well, I mean, three of my other songs did. One of those was because of the reason why I wrote it. One just wasn't quite deep enough. And so I chose this one, which you can tell me it's not long enough, of course. I'd understand. I mean, I have two songs on the whole album that I've got written with lyrics. I'm still working on chords. that have choruses because I despise them. I mean, think about it. You have to write them so that they fit more than once in your song. I mean, these are just lines put together that fit somehow musically that I think sounds good. I mean, honestly, one of my biggest fears is that people aren't going to understand the fact that I'm a rule breaker. I wasn't taught to be a rule breaker. So, of course, I'm a rule breaker. If I can't break rules, then they'll break me. That's just my mentality. So, I don't write the way I should. And I mean, I can. It just doesn't sound as original or as personal as it does whenever I don't. So, I mean, the reason I chose the song was because it's me. I wrote it. I feel like it's the most vulnerable I've ever been in my songs. Also, I chose it because it conveys a message that says I don't give up, no matter whether I'm alone physically or alone mentally. Or if I'm just sitting up at night talking to my best friend wrapped in my thoughts, I'm still alone emotionally. I mean, I have a million friends that I can talk to any day I want, and they'll be there for me. Which fake friends to fit in. Some of them are those. Definitely most of my church friends, because I've been with them all my life and they've been there. I've been there for them. But it's not that emotional bond that says you can tell them anything, they won't judge you. And friends, you have to have that thing. So, anyone who you don't have that thing with, I'm not going to say that's a fake friend, but if you just pretend to be there, then it's a fake friend. Which, I'm there for you if you need it. But I'm alone emotionally a lot. I'm alone mentally a lot. Physically, people just won't leave me alone. They won't let me be. So at night, whenever I'm physically alone, I'm also emotionally and mentally alone. And that's whenever it starts to get to you. So I don't want anyone else to break whenever they're alone, because I've broken when I'm alone and it's not fun. It's not fun. I've never given up. I've been broken. I've been depressed. But alone, take it how it fits to you. I'm not going to say it's what I meant by it. It's what you mean by it. And that's more important than what I meant by it, because you're the person who's listening to the song. I wrote it. I know what I mean by it. Do you know what it means to you? And that's something that I pose with all my songs. But especially my more vulnerable ones, yes, I'm saying how I feel. But how does it make you feel? And how are you going to respond to it? And that's one lesson that you should learn with any song. That's why I love writing. Because someone's going to hear it if you play it. If you sing it, someone's going to listen to it eventually. I mean, if you're sitting in your front yard playing, then, well, hey, looky there. Someone just walked by, they heard it. That's all you can do sometimes. And I've been told that for a 13-year-old, I have a pretty good head on my shoulders. I disagree with that. But, I mean, the reason I wrote this was because I don't have the hope I used to have of waking up and going to school and seeing one person who puts a smile on your face. You know, that one person, whether it's your best friend or whether you have a crush on them. It's that one person. So, I do feel alone. And honestly, in a lot of my songs, you can see that I'm afraid to step out. Like, one line, I sit and stay in my cage, afraid of what they'll think. Obviously, I don't like stepping outside of boundaries, but if I'm not willing to step outside of boundaries, then no one else is gonna see me. No one else is gonna do it for me. And my friends like to push me, and I push them. But it's not the same as willingly taking a step. So that's honestly one of the reasons I'm more excited to do this. I mean, as you can see, I don't have a studio. I have my bedroom. That's where I record most of my stuff. And out here, too. I love coming out here and recording, because it's just, you're never alone if you're outside. You know, if you're 50 miles away from all civilization, there's still an animal that scurries by or something, and you're not alone. So, I really wanted to do this because I was stepping outside of my comfort zone doing this. I was being vulnerable. I was telling people reasons I write stuff. I was singing lyrics that honestly are super vulnerable for me. I mean, I'm sure you have heard more vulnerable stuff by the time you get to me, but I don't like to be vulnerable, because the second that you put your arms out and wait for someone to punch you, somebody will. But that's a risk. That's a risk you have to be willing to take. And I have a little bit of a speech problem left from when I was little. I mean, I fixed most of it because I used to say top instead of stop. I still do whenever I get tickled too much, but I mean, sometimes I say my words wrong. But singing or playing guitar, you can't mess up, which is another thing I like, which is acting. If you mess up, you can fake it out. Now then, I mean, I get anxiety after I do stuff where that I mess up, that I messed up. And I mean, pretty sure everyone gets anxiety at some point whenever you're on stage. But, I mean, I can show you. This is what I was looking at. It's got my lyrics. And I mean, I didn't write out what I was going to say. I decided that I was just going to write whatever. Did I say write or say? I decided I would just say whatever came to my mind about the topic while I'm talking about it, because honestly that's always suited me way more than trying to remember an essay that I wrote out, because that essay is going to lead me nowhere if my own thoughts in my head are different. So, you know, never give up. Whether you're alone in your head, emotionally, or physically. I mean, I enjoy being alone physically, but if I'm already alone emotionally and mentally, then you actually feel the loneliness. I remember being pulled to the counselor's office last year because of something, one of my answers on something. And at that point, I wish I had said I wasn't fine. But in a way, I was fine because I enjoyed the loneliness then, because it wasn't complete loneliness. The loneliness didn't get to you. But nowadays, the loneliness does get to me. So, I just think that alone, that one word, says a lot to anyone. And that's another reason I chose this song. It's just like, once you hear the title, that's something that could go any way. So, just don't break. And definitely don't give up. Because if you give up, that's it. You've given up. I mean, I guess that's really all I have to say.